Ooh.
Ooh.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. B.
Hi.
It's my wife. High five. You all right?
Yes.
Welcome to another cheap versus steep video, the playlist in which we
Compare. make one recipe and then have cheap ingredients and compare against ingredients from a steep.
Yeah, cheap supermarket versus steep, ones that are on our doorstep, so we haven't gone too crazy. So we are basically doing a lemon drizzle cake today. 5 ingredients, that is it for a lemon drizzle cake, including the drizzle. We've done baking before on the playlist. If you've missed any others, it's been really fascinating. I really enjoy doing this playlist, but we did brownies.
Yes, they were nice.
Well, you tend to like the steep and I tend to like the cheap, and that's, I don't know, with the lemon drizzle cake, we've got some goat butter, we've got some organic ingredients, some those really cheap
Goat butter?
I know.
Didn't know you could get that.
Yeah.
But is that something
hopefully
you can use for baking though?
I don't know. But it was right next to the other butters. It was all on the line. The price was going. It's like,
okay.
Oh my gosh. The texture of the sponge of the cake could be a big one. I actually think the baking, we talked about this off camera, I think the baking time could. No? Okay.
I don't. Because you don't look at a recipe from like a cookbook, do you? And say, it says if you use expensive ingredients, put it in the oven.
I know, but it's just that combination.
And cheap ingredients, put it in for shorter.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong. And baking is a science. That's my only thing I'm thinking. Like, but then, is it the power of the citrus, just the lemon, that overrides everything?
Maybe.
But it's 4 times the price. Let's show you the little breakdown and get going. I'm really excited about this. Let's go. So the eggs, Mrs. B, were, you get 15 in this pack. These are the caged ones we've done before.
Yeah.
12p each.
Okay.
These lovely, flat, glorious ones, 53 pence each. That is a difference of £4.17. Okay?
That's a massive difference.
Yeah. Organic self-raising flour, 1.5 kilos versus our 1.5 kilo bag down here.
Yeah.
45p for the standard one.
Yes.
We always use standard, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We never use any, I never buy any expensive flour.
No. Versus £1.90, same weight, 4.2 times the price.
Hang on, so that was 45p?
Yeah.
That whole bag was 45p?
Yeah.
And that was £1.90?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully it's going to make an awesome cake.
We're better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the sponge. Yeah. Honestly. Okay, so the lemons, this is an interesting one. 13p each for these. Every single one had one that looks more like a lime in there. Okay. And look at that, this is a bag of 4 as well.
Oh my goodness, I was just looking to see if it's got the weight on the bag.
13p each cheap, 41p each, which is 3 times the difference.
Between 48 and 51 millimeters in size. Those ones, and these are 53 to 61.
Wow, that is a heck of a difference.
So
we might have to measure out the juice.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we've already talked about the butter, so last up is the sugar. £1.19 for a 1 kilo bag, but for £1.55 you get a 500 kilo bag, which is golden caster sugar, fair trade, all good stuff.
That's going to make a difference, golden caster sugar, I reckon.
Well, yeah, that's what a lot of the recipes call for, is the golden caster sugar, like the real, you know, it's still classed as a cane sugar, it's still fine. I didn't want to go light brown or brown.
Got a feeling this is going to be a nice cake.
Man, I'm so excited. But then also, the bag at the German supermarket, Biddle, and this one, I paid 10p for that. This one was free. I don't know if I got away with that. Let's make a cheap versus steep drizzle cake. How light does that feel?
Yeah, I was just thinking it feels really light.
It doesn't feel like there's anything in there. So what we'll do is we're going to weigh the eggs so that they're equal. So it might be that we use 5 of these, but hopefully that should be about the same. We are going to just look at the difference. This butter, it's pale, it's yummy, it looks like butter. It doesn't look like a goat. We're all good. This butter doesn't look, well, it looks,
wow.
Ooh.
Golden.
Oh yeah, that does look a lot more like butter, doesn't it?
Yeah. That looks like lard.
It does. Imagine that if it's horrible. All right, so we've put the standard butter into a bowl, and this is some caster sugar. This is just your standard caster sugar, so in that goes. Oh wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's because
I mean, a lot of recipes in cakes for me always call for golden caster sugar.
They do.
So let's just compare the colour of that sugar with that. That is bonkers.
That's crazy.
I think we're going to get a really, really different coloured sponge here. So I'm going to weigh out the cheap eggs. The good thing is if I need 5, we've got more of those to keep rounding till we get 300 grams. But it might not be that bad. Look, 4 eggs is 240 grams.
Okay.
So I reckon one more. I mean, they're all different sizes. This is the thing. I tried to pick the biggest ones. This might take it to 300.
Does it?
Yeah, 5 eggs.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I've never ever put 5 eggs in a cake before.
I think we've got to go for that though, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got to do it by weight, surely. You know, 25% difference if we don't do it. I'm gonna add them in one at a time, whisking between each addition.
Yeah.
Just focus, folks, on the colour of that yolk. That looks all right, actually.
Quite yellow.
Yeah, remember that colour, folks, okay? Cheap self-raising flour.
Flour's flour, isn't it?
But we are gonna sieve it in, which is gonna make all the difference for the cheap. We're giving it some love.
Yes, we are.
We're giving it some air. So we reckon about a tablespoon-ish of lemon zest in there. And then, whizzy, whizzy, whizzy. So what we'll do now is repeat all those steps with the steep ingredients and just quickly highlight any colour differences. And we should possibly have 2 different looking batters. And whilst Mrs. B is beating together that, I'm working on the lemon, and it feels like luxurious. It's like really gripping. The smell as well doesn't seem to be any different. It's still a lemon.
Still
so
lemon.
it's lemony. Hopefully this is going to look quite vibrant.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow. That's very different.
Yeah. Just like the brownies, just like the cooked breakfast. There's some good yolks. That's really,
That's all right.
really orange. The camera isn't showing it too. It's
But you
really
can see
orange.
the difference.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Was it like that before?
I can't remember. Yeah, but it was brownie, so we then added cocoa powder, didn't we? So they just all looked brown. I feel like it's orange buttercream.
It is really, really orange, but it is thickening up, which is the most important thing. Remember, we're doing 2 extremes here, and out of the 2, we would typically go for the other one. So we'll put them side by side in a minute, and you can see hopefully the difference between the cheap versus steep batters. Can you see the difference there?
Yeah.
It is, the camera, because it's quite light in here today, it makes it look quite creamy and almost mildly caramelish, but that
Yeah,
is...
it's weird. I've never baked a cake that colour.
The one thing we didn't do was actually use cheap versus steep baking parchment. So if you please excuse us for that. I didn't really feel like, I mean, there could be a difference.
Think that's going to affect the taste?
No.
No.
You never know. If it tastes good, it is going to be the goat.
I get it now. Down with the kids, you.
Yo. 160 fan, it's going to go in there for 45 minutes. And it's ready.
Oh.
So cheap, and I've got the steep. That's how we remember it. Cheap, steep.
Yeah.
Sometimes we generally forget that.
Yeah.
But this is, I feel like this is quite obvious.
I really do feel like the cheap might be the better.
Really?
Maybe that's just because I'm judging with my eyes and what I'm used to making.
There's no point making the drizzle yet, which is basically sugar and the lemon juice. We'll do that by the time the cakes are cooling down.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So we'll have a
good.
little coffee. I'm going to do a little calculation on the per portion, and we'll see you in a bit.
Oh my gosh. Look at the cakes.
It almost looks like it's got a slight orange tinge in it. The batter has stayed its true colour. That's like looking classic. Right, so whilst they're still warm, we make the drizzle so that it can soak in and then crystallise.
Okay.
Sugar and lemon juice.
Nice.
So we're going to go for 1.5 of the fairly big lemons, I suppose.
Just like with the eggs, we're going to measure this out to make sure we've got the same with the cheap and the steep. I hope we've got enough cheap lemons. We should have done it the other way around.
Yes, we should, but they are tiny.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but then it won't be a lemon drizzle cake, it'll just be a sugar cake.
About 50?
About 50 mils. All right, so let's see how many of those small lemons it takes, the cheap lemons, to get 50 mils.
It's even too small for the juicer.
It is, look at that.
Not getting much juice out of those at all.
No, 3 might do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh yes.
That's bang on.
The colour of the juice looks the same though.
all right, so we stir that together so the sugar dissolves, and whilst the cakes are cooling, make some little holes in there so it soaks in, it cools down, absorbs the sugar, crystallises on the top.
Oh my gosh, that looks like lemon sip.
I have to be honest, cheap, steep, it smells amazing in here. So we're going to bamboo skewer.
I'm just seeing how you're doing it, so I do it.
Yeah, I'm going like nearly all the way through. So yeah, just make sure you get it all coated on top. Cover every bit of that crust at first. You see that you end up with this like gorgeous sort of glossy crust, which should cling to the top and give it that lovely drizzle falling through. Oh wow. Remember, we're doing this step whilst it's warm so it cools down with that. So like any baking, freshly baked, just cooled enough is gorgeous. We have to wait now. Let these cool. Ready for our taste test.
Oh, I can't wait.
When's it ready?
Wait.
No.
Patience.
No.
Hello, Mrs. B.
Hello.
1 hour later. Let's get these out. I mean, they cool in the tin. We didn't really need the wire axe, but it's nice, isn't it? We're going to use them for our thumbnail. But should we take them out?
Yeah.
Oh, that feels good.
What is this?
Oh, even the tin smells good. Oh my gosh. There's this like little sugary crust on the edge of mine where some of it's dried. Oh wow. Oh, yours looks a bit, yeah, I was just saying on the crust, you see yours?
Yeah.
Yours is more like it's been lightly dusted in snow or something. All right, we should get 10 portions out of this. Cheap for, oh my gosh, that is delicate. Oh wow.
Oh.
A lovely colour. Ooh.
Oh. Oh wow, look at the colour
That
difference.
is crazy. Like, a lot more subtle than before, but still very...
That's almost the same colour as the crust.
You can actually see where some of the sugar has absorbed around the edges as well. Especially on this one, because the sugar's darker. It's like the doctor's surgery. We're ready for you now. Right, get in there then, girls. Come on.
Oh, I want the big one.
Don't worry, you got more.
Right, here we go. The crust is where the flavour's at there. I just had the sponge, it was like, oh, that's mild.
No.
Ooh,
That's very nice.
that is amazing.
Really moist.
We've just got it just so it's still just slightly freshly baked. Wow. So that was the cheap. And that was blooming delicious.
That was yummy.
Yeah.
So, let's steep it up.
Oh.
Oh,
Lemon stronger.
The lemon is stronger, isn't it? Yeah.
this is really nice.
That is amazing.
I find this isn't as stodgy as that, and I thought it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Because when we mixed them, this was like tougher.
That's tougher, yeah. And it's lighter, it's airier. Oh. The sugar is just sat on top of that crust as well.
I prefer the steep.
You prefer the steep?
Yeah.
Phoebes?
I prefer steep.
Do you? What did you like about that?
The flavour just...
What was milder?
Yeah, it was really strong at first and just drifted away.
Okay.
But then this one just still in there.
Okay.
Like the hand action.
Mrs. B, what about you?
This one, steep.
Steep? To be fair, I've got to go steep today. The taste of it was just, and I mean, I don't know, cheap, it was fine. Like you would take that. They are both amazing cakes. So thanks so much for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed this latest Cheap vs Steep. Don't forget to put on your sweatband now, have a marathon, and check out the rest of the Cheap vs Steep here on the playlist. I recommend the cooked breakfast.
Oh yeah.
That was a real eye-opener.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, any Cheap vs Steep ideas you've got, do let us know down below. I mean, people do say to us, oh, could you say which ingredients you would put in? It's very hard with a cake to say.
Yes.
Like maybe the eggs,
Yeah, maybe the eggs.
the sugar.
Yeah,
But-
the lemons, definitely the lemons,
Yeah.
I think. Steep lemons.
So you could get away with like a mix of the both. I don't think the flour, but then
I really don't know.
yeah,
It's hard to tell.
really. I mean, we'll show you now the difference. But thanks for all the support as always, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Check your level, player. No matter what your style, the kitchen's for me. Simon's moustache, goatee, maybe all three.
So I can reveal that per portion you should get 10 slices, which you would get. The cheap per portion with the ingredients is 26 pence. So although the shop came to £4.81, only 26p of those ingredients are used to make the lemon drizzle. For the steep, 63p. So about 2.5 times the price.
Wow.
So yeah, again, you're spending £10.80 on ingredients, but only 63p of that goes towards that. So the rest stays in your cupboard, you reuse it. Which is why, if you know anyone that's set up a cake business in the lockdown, that they're now probably driving a Lamborghini. Thanks for watching, folks. See you soon.
Bye.
We went llama walking the other day. Can we get llama butter next time? Hopefully the flour will hold this together.
Don't think you can milk a llama.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to say. Have you seen
No.
Meet the Parent? Does it Meet the Parent then? You can milk anything with...
No.